tell me why this date is so popular?
12212.
And why is that?
Because it just goes 122112.
Anything else?
The supposed end of the Mayan calendar.
Exactly.
They just got tired of writing.
Now they have it backwards.
Supposedly the end of the world. And no, it's not the last day for Christmas shopping, by the way.
That's the 24th.
So what does the end of the world mean? It means floods, tsunamis, solar flares, comets, volcanoes, earthquakes, famine, disease, nuclear fallout, zombies. Well, probably not zombies. And for the multitudes of people who will tell you that all of these things are going to happen on 2012, well, the joke's on them, because all these things are already happening.
Not zombies.
So why am I talking about this? First, I'm sick of hearing about it. Since the beginning of time, people have been talking about the end of the world. I screwed that up, excuse me. People have been talking about the end of the world since the beginning of the world. In the year 634 BCE, there are recorded predictions. So you know it's got to be good. And two, because far too many people believe it. Astrobiologist David Morrison said he's getting at least a dozen letters a day about 2012. He says teenagers say they're thinking of ending their lives. He got 2 letters from mothers who said that they are thinking of killing their children and themselves rather than go through this. 1 out of 7 people in the world believe that they will experience the end of the world in their lifetime. That is 15%, and that is 1 billion people believe this. And 1 billion people can't be wrong, right? Actually, yes, they can. They are wrong. That's one of those logical fallacies that we learned about, ad populum. A lot of people believing something does not make it true or factual. And facts are the only thing we should be interested in here. I found this funny quote floating around Facebook by a guy named Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson. It goes like this. To be scientifically literate is to empower yourself to know when someone else is full of bullshit. And it's true. So along those lines, here's some facts for you. Doomsday prediction stems from an author, Daniel Pinchbeck, who wrote 2012, The Return of Quetzalcoatl. In the book, he speculates why the calendar seems to end on 2012, and sold him a lot of books to say that. One theory of why people think that the world is going to end is because the Earth, the Sun, and the universe are all going to line up on December 21st. And if you go to the star charts, it's true, they will. But what the alarmists and doomsdayers won't tell you is that happens every year, just like your birthday. For some reason, they left that part out. Here's the key fact, though. 2010, scientists working at another Mayan city ruins uncovered a staircase that had another calendar on it, and this calendar went all the way to the year 3500. So, if the end of the world is coming, why would they even put that much thought into it to go that far? Because it's not happening.
They just got
The world is not going to end. All right, so imagine these people who believe that the world's going to end. And it always makes me laugh because, you know, you spend your whole life, or you spend a considerable part of your life thinking about it, and then it doesn't happen. So there's this guy, Robert Fitzpatrick, a 60-year-old MTA retiree from Staten Island. He was convinced the world was going to end on May 21st, 2011, 6 p.m. It was a religious prophecy. He spent his life savings, $140,000, to have 3,000 posters put up on New York City buses, subways, the walls, wherever. It's a lot of money for 3,000 posters. to do was warn people that the end of days were coming. Can you imagine the look on his face when 7 p.m. rolled around? 8 p.m., 9 p.m. the next day? Like, how confused he must have been. And I imagine that similar looks on similar people are going to happen in about 2 weeks when the world doesn't end again. So what do we have to do to stop the end of the world? Nothing. Nothing's going to happen. You don't have to do anything. But what we should do, the real question is how do we stop other people from believing that the world is going to end? The nice thing about being a student is that we have the best weapon at our fingertips. Knowledge. Facts and raw information defeat the bullshit of the world every single time. All we have to do is collect it, analyze it, and use it scientifically. It takes a little work, but it's worth it. I have to admit, I mean, I like thinking about the end of the world. It's fun, it's exciting, you know, gives my life a little meaning. And plus, the world is so messed up right now, it's hard not to imagine the world not needing a fresh start from all the crap that we see every day. But life is never really that easy. Fortunately, we're going to have to figure this one out on our own, and I think we can. But if you ever lose focus or hope, you should, I want you to remember this cute little story. There's an old Cherokee legend about a grandfather teaching his grandson about life. The grandfather tells his grandson that there are 2 wolves fighting inside him all the time. One is evil, full of everything bad you can imagine, anger, envy, fear, and so on. The other wolf is good, full of joy, peace, love, compassion, and hope. After a careful thought, the grandson asks, which wolf will win? And the grandfather